poppin', beautiful people. Happiest of Friday, Juniors. We are almost free. Welcome to the channel. We're here to go over Love and Hip Hop Miami. This will be season 7, episode 18. This episode was titled Your Time Is Up. Keep in mind, friendly reminder, I do usually cover love and hip hop with a co-host or other people. James is actively traveling right now, so that is why he is not here. And he is moving, I believe, tomorrow. So he said something about not being on YouTube for a little bit because of that. If you have questions, feel free to DM me, send James a message, leave a comment, all of those good things. But he probably is going to be away from YouTube probably the rest of the month. So just keep that in mind, but go watch Shayna's channel. Hi, Shayna. Hey, boo. Go watch Shayna's channel. She's got quite a bit of content on her channel, and she does a lot for other creators, so we should definitely support Shayna. You guys can also tap into Kiwan JTV, JB Says What, Sandra P, Miss Kira Speaks. I really enjoy her content, and several other creators. I'm going to link in the description after this because I did rush on this live. The reason I'm suggesting you guys to check them out is because the shows that James will not be covering that he normally covers on his channel while he's moving, you can go watch them on Shayna's channel, Miss Kira Speaks channel, Kiwan. Support another creator. In the meantime, hi, DM Rocks. Happy Thursday to you. DM Rocks said, hey, why is Boots still here terrorizing? Listen, DM Rocks, Larissa thinks it's 2006 or 7 still, okay? I don't think she realizes that like a pandemic has happened and it's 2026. I don't think she's aware. Homegirl acts crazy. She acts absolutely insane. Shout out to our replay gang and welcome in to everybody. I hope all of you guys are having the best of days. I also hope you guys do consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, all those good things. But let's get into this episode because there was, my phone is making all sorts of noise. There was a lot going on in this episode, but also I felt like not much happened. I kind of felt like Boots was running around the different people just BSing. I also kind of felt like most of this episode felt scripted, almost like Tyler Perry shows when they first came out and they had them bad wigs. I don't know. I didn't care for it. It felt manufactured. But where are we going to start? We're going to start, I got the wrong notes up, but we're going to start with Trina's husband, Swerve. Now, I just saw a video on the internet that I sent to, I think, Shayna, Kiwan, and James, because Trina stopped one of her shows. She stopped one of her shows because I guess Swerve had all his homies up on stage and something was going on. They were problematic. I don't like this man. I know that it's her husband and not my husband, and people feel how they feel about their partner, but I feel like Trina married him way too fast, and maybe he's going to start to get comfortable and start sharing his edges and things like that. But he's having an interview on a radio station that's big in Miami, and Trina at the radio station, they're like, we know this is about your man, but it's the 25th year anniversary of The Baddest, which was her first album. It was a great album. I encourage anybody younger or older, if you never listened to it, to go listen to it. But I'm like, girl, you should be promoting the 25th anniversary of your album, trying to find ways to like revive yourself, make more money off of it. And instead, you are promoting a man that stalked you from a hot dog stand and is using your name to get somewhere, doesn't contribute anything to you. And he, like, I just don't get it. I don't. I did appreciate Swerve for acknowledging that Trina has elevated his career. Let's call a spade a spade. This man would not be on the radio if not for his wife. And that's okay. That's okay. But it's how he acts as if he can like control what she has going on. That's the part that I don't like. I just be feeling like Swerve be overstepping, like as a man, as a partner, just as a person in general. He do too much. DM Rock said Amada's manager was so dramatic. I don't think that stuff was real. The way her manager talks and acts, I know some people do speak that way, but the publicist, I believe it was, he just seems extremely disingenuous. And a publicist's job does not require them to be with you at your events. The manager should be doing that. The publicist is there for when things, basically when shit hits the fan and they got to fix a reputation. So I didn't understand why Amara's publicist was on this episode at all. But every time he talks, I'm like, the show just feels Personally, I feel like Amara has not had a storyline on this show since her breakup with Shay's brother. I don't really care about Alan. I feel like a lot of the decisions she made after she broke up with Shay's brother were just so that she could maintain her fame and her spot on the show. I know that's shady, but that's just how I feel, y'all. It's just how I feel. But we get to another studio. It's Boots, aka Larissa. She really came back on television and said, "Caw, caw, I'm a bird." Because I don't understand why this lady is so proud to be a gold digger, so proud to be juggling fugly Negroes just so that she could get a car. And I keep thinking to myself, like, I'm not rich. I know a lot of us here in the chat ain't rich. We probably living on regular middle class or upper middle income, type of situations. If I can afford a car, Boots, you can afford a car. What is it, boo? Do you not have the credit? Do you not want to pay a car payment? What is the problem? Because a Toyota Corolla is not that expensive. Neither is a Honda or a Hyundai. I don't understand why Boots is coming on this show this way. But she's in the studio with Trick, and she says she wants to put music out, and she says that she's a bad bitch from California. Okay. You a bad bitch from California. All right, Boots. Now she gives a story about her life and how she wanted to do things before she got on Flavor of Love, but then Flavor of Love blew up and became the most popular thing in the world. So she rode that bus and that wave. But now that her bookings and stuff related to the show have dried up, she wants to rap. And I'm kind of, not my husband laughing in the background. I'm kind of like, I don't remember Boots doing any of that. And I remember her season of Flavor of Love 2. We had Crazy that season. Y'all remember she was trying to push her demo and come up. And then we had Delicious, who could sing on the low. We had a bunch of talented people on Flavor of Love. I will give those ladies that. So I don't remember Boots, like, I just remember Boots twerking. I'm not even going to lie to y'all whenever she had the opportunity to show any type of a talent. So I'm surprised to see she rapped. The song was not the greatest. She was saying something about bouncing that ass and twerking and bouncing it some more. And it wasn't bad, but it's like we just heard like a corny hook. We didn't really get to hear the rest of it. But she invites Trick with her to the 25th anniversary dinner for Trina's album. And Trick gets a little irritated and butthurt because he's like, why wasn't he invited? And this is a recurring theme. Trina is consistently having events to celebrate her album, her legacy, things like that. And Trick feels like because he's responsible for helping put her on the map, that there is no Trick without Trina. Trina had a successful career after the 90s and early 2000s without Trick Daddy. Some of her biggest hits, he was not a part of the album or any of that at all. He is pivotal to her career and will always matter. But I just think it's a little weird to always throw a fit. But at the same time, like if somebody doesn't invite you, take it for what it is. You're not invited, Trick. But she invites them to the event. Trick Daddy also knows Trina hires unprofessional people who sometimes be forgetting to even send the invite. So I just feel like he needs to relax. But let me get the comments because our friend Shayna is here. I hope you are having a good day, Shayna, and I hope you are feeling uplifted. Let's see. She said, I know Cardi B's publicist. Oh, that's cool. That's super cool. She's always with her everywhere she goes. Really? She's even in a commercial with her. Interesting. Interesting. You know what? That's smart, though. If your publicist is with you everywhere that you go, it's kind of hard for you to get into trouble. And when you think of Cardi B, she don't really do nothing to me that would like get her canceled or in too much trouble. Now, I know when she first, got put on, she had, when you first come out and get big, you're going to have the stragglers for when you're not big coming for you and things like that. But for the last couple of years, because I don't fault nobody for what they husband do or they love life, she really is kind of unproblematic. Maybe it's good. Was her publicist there when she threw the shoe at, who did she throw that shoe at a Met Gala? I think it was Nicki Minaj. I'm pretty sure she threw a shoe at Nicki Minaj. And I'm kind of grateful that she did that, considering where we're at today. But that's good to know. That would make sense. I always wonder how people become publicists. I'm such a weirdo. I'm like, how does one do that? Seems like a stressful job. Girl, I'm trying. I'm here. I got to see James today. He did come to the Bay Area. I did get to see James today. So that was a positive. And I am caught up in school. That's a miracle. That's a miracle and a positive. But not much really happened with Boots in the studio. We'll see if she puts something out. It's kind of dumb to me. I'm like, girl, do you want to be known as one of Flavor Flav's hoes that came back on reality TV and continued to hold him? Or do you want to be known for the music and your businesses? Because she done told us she got an eyelash business with Joy, ain't promoted once. All she want to talk about is finding a man that's going to pay for her life or gold digging. And it's like, girl, if you're serious about music, you should have presented that or your businesses first, not the mess. But I don't know. With Boots, it's given Pinky Doll. Like when Pinky Doll joined the cast, like there's no substance and I'm getting tired of her shenanigans. I really am. Miami Tip meets with her mom, which was interesting. They look just alike. And her mom's name is Maria. She does talk to her mother about her father not being in her life. She is actually pretty upset with her mom for meeting with her ex, who's been trying to get her back. I don't know if you guys remember, she said that a big problem with her ex and the reason they initially broke up is because he was telling people that he was only with her for the cameras and pretty much trying to use her name, it sounds like, for some form of clout. And I think she did the right thing to break up with him if that was the real reason for the breakup. If somebody is comfortable enough to tell people that they are using you or only with you for a certain reason, that says they're either embarrassed about you or they just really don't give a you know what about you. So I do think she was smart to break up with him. I respect her mom. I respect all single moms. It's hard to raise kids alone. Shout out to the single dads as well. But I don't think it's fair for Tip to be upset with her mom for speaking to her ex. I think this is where people need to be careful with how you introduce people to your family. Like if you choose to introduce someone to your family, understand that your family may talk to that someone, even if they don't want to deal with you no more. Like if my husband was to piss me off and we were to have to end up divorced, I would still keep a relationship with his mom because I like her. Like outside of like the requirement to deal with family, I actually like her as a person. So I don't see why you would have to force people to choose a side, especially if there's nothing crazy like baby mama, baby daddy drama or domestic violence. If there's nothing crazy going on, like who cares if you talk to your mama? If you're not going to get back with him, you're not going to get back with him. And not your mama or nobody should be able to change your mind. So it's like, don't come at your mom for being nice. That's ridiculous. I don't understand people like that. I don't. But let me know how y'all feel. Miami Tip then goes deeper. She says the reason she keeps having bad relationships is because she chooses bad men. And she feels like she chooses bad men because she did not have her father in her life. I'm glad that she connected that. I'm very glad she connected that. But then she was talking about a spiritual healer. And I'm like, what is it with Miami and this cast that they go to mumbos and spiritual healers? It seemed like they go everywhere but church. I'm not judging them, but I'm like, maybe go to a therapist. Just a suggestion or a life coach or something, not just the spiritual healer. Like address it all. Please address it all. But I am happy that she shared more of her story. She's going to make the decision on if she wants to talk to her dad. The problem that she's having about whether she should or shouldn't talk to her dad is he said he's only willing to talk to her on camera. And I felt really bad, but I wonder if it's legit. I'm not trying to be messy and take away from this lady's trauma, but I find it odd that your boyfriend, who was a storyline, you had to break up with him because of the cameras and him wanting to be a part of the show. Now you're saying that your dad, who was never in your life, is only willing to talk to you on the show. Something doesn't make sense with that. Usually if people are deadbeats, they don't want to be seen. I'd expect for him to do like Ashley Darby's dad and slam the door in her face or something, but to say you'll only show up on camera when you know you're going to show up as the deadbeat, knowing you won't be received well from the public to really like turn a profit or monetize. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I do question if that's true. Let me know if I'm just being fucked up. Y'all can tell me if I'm fucked up. I could take it. But it just seemed like I was with her till she said that. And I was like, okay, Tip, please. Let me get these comments. Hi, Abish Stay Winning. I am happy to see you. It has been some time. Abish Stay Winning said exactly, not to mention how Tip turned out. She was a whole stripper. Girl, her mom was like, you turned out great. She was a stripper. She wrote a whole book about how she had her baby trying to get a check baby and was disappointed in the $4,000 in child support or something. I said, oh Lord, like what is going on? She doesn't take responsibility. That's a very good catch, Abish Stay Winning. She doesn't take responsibility. She looks to blame other people, and then she does that gaslighting of making people believe that she's really changed by saying, oh, I'm going to meet with the spiritual healer and I'm starting to realize this. I get it, work for your check, but she's not taking responsibility. Right. She doing good. Somebody put her in a movie. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Thank you. And happy belated birthday. It is still y'all season, Tauruses. Y'all got about, I think, 6 more days. 6 more days. Happy birthday to all of the Tauruses. Geminis are next. I'm going to try and behave this Gemini season. I will. I'm going to behave. But yeah, Miami Tip just seemed a little full of you know what to me. And this is what I mean when I said at the beginning of this live, this whole episode, a lot of what they showed in these scenes felt like people was acting and just bullshitting because they got to give us something. That's why you got to recycle people and move them out. Tip's been here since season 1, hardly shows us anything. Get rid of her, please. But after the scene with Tip, unfortunately, we have to sit through a scene with Amara. She's got a perfume. It was Eternally Something. I should have wrote down the name because Amara does seem to be a good businesswoman. But her publicist is with her. It just felt odd. Eliza's telling her publicist Amara's telling her publicist how Eliza allegedly put voodoo on her, as Gael says, aka Miss Heaven. I don't. What are we supposed to do with this? I don't want to be that YouTuber that's like an asshole, but that shit felt fake, and I don't even want to comment on the scene with Amara telling him about that because, one, if we actually assess it, why are you believing the next hoe who slept with your baby daddy, her sister's baby daddy and husband, and Shay's baby daddy? Why you believe in a hoe that slept with baby daddies and then think because she called herself heaven sent that she is now a Christian? Like, I'm not quite understanding what they're doing, but if y'all would like to keep the conversation going in the comments for the replay gang, feel free. I will happily engage. Maybe there's something I didn't see. Maybe there was something genuine, but I'm going to move it on to the next scene, which is Trina celebrating. Oh, Lord, she said they were all acting. I thought it was just me. And I want to be nice because we know Love and Hip Hop's ending. And at one point, this show was everything to reality TV. But episodes like this and scenes like that with Amara and that publicist, they do demonstrate why the show is going bye-bye and night-night. Like, they definitely show why it needs to. Because if that's what y'all have to do for entertainment, y'all could have really cut the episode down to 30 minutes instead of showing us all these fake-ass scenes. I'm just saying. They really could have done that. But Trina, she has her 21st anniversary for her album. I'm thinking she's going to do a performance, a reunion tour, something of that nature. It looked like the reception hall when you have a wedding. It was beautifully decorated, but I was like, oh, I guess this was just for like her family, her friends, her day ones, which I can respect. I like when people stay humble and don't forget the people who supported them while they were, coming up. But a lot of people from the cast are there. We see Zoe Brinks. You could tell she's not confident in her weight loss because she has the extra skin. Because Zoe, if you show up to another place in these damn tracksuits, I know she's selling the active wear and stuff, but girl, please put on something different. And it's always in black. But she comes up to Julian. She tells him that she was the person who was spying on his and Shay's conversation in the studio, and she brought the information to Trina. She did apologize for bringing the information to Trina because she sees that it did cause like a ripple effect of a bunch of bullshit. But Zoe then also explained that the reason that she brought the information to Trina and Joy is because she felt like she was obligated to, since they've had her back so strongly with Ching Diamond. Because Ching Diamond did try to run her out of her own city. And even though Hot Topic and Joy and them was mean to Zoe in the beginning, at the end of the day, it's people in Oakland I don't like. But if somebody come against or try to talk about Oakland negatively, I will defend them. I sure will. Stand up for your city. I'm not mad at it. But like Zoe, it just admit that you was being messy, girl. Don't try and find ethical reasons as to why you did what you did. You was keeping the show moving. I wouldn't have apologized for shit because you really don't know Julian like that. But I thought it was nice that she was at least accountable and willing to apologize. But we later see that Boots walks in to this event with Trick Daddy. They sit down at the table and everybody's having a talk about the events and what's going on with the drama between Shay's mama getting hit with a drink, and Joy. And when Boots learns that Joy had to talk to Trina and explain what was going on over all this bullshit, Boots says, well, I'm the one that threw the drink on her mom. And then Boots says that she threw the drink on her mom intentionally because apparently Shay spoke on Boots's daughter. And I'm like, lady, did she speak on your daughter recently? Now, I know you should never speak on nobody's kids. But Boots, you've been real quiet for years. You could have been dragging Shay for all these years that she's been on Love and Hip Hop, even prior to Miami existing, when she had that terrible shortcut on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta when Scrappy played her by proposing to Erica Dixon. I don't know if y'all remember that, but I'm like, Shay has been on TV making a fool of herself for years and years. And I'm sure Boots was aware of it. So if you really had a beef with this lady because she talked about your child, I can respect that. But why the fuck haven't you tried to address her? If somebody tried to talk about my child, mind you, I'm not even a parent yet. If you try to talk about my child, my family, or my husband, there's nothing on God's green earth that could stop me from dragging you. In the most unprofessional. I remember some rapper tried to play my husband out some money. Like, this was like 2 years ago. When I tell you, I read that man for filth and aired him out on social media. He got sick of it and paid my man. Okay? Like, why wouldn't you do that for your child, Boots? Why wouldn't you have that energy? If Shay did that, I would be making everybody aware I'm Boots from Flavor of Love and this bitch spoke on my kid. But you want to bring it to this show and act like you want to fight her. And she keeps saying that she's been hiding. But I'm like, I don't think she's hiding from you, honey. I just don't think y'all run in the same circles. But apparently Boots gonna find Shay. And she meant to throw that drink on her mama. She said, fuck Shay and her mama. I don't like when people move like that. Like, some moms do too much sometimes, but you don't need to just be like, fuck your mom. Like, that's too much. But if she did speak on your daughter, I need to see the proof. Other than that, Boots, you just look like an untamed rabid dog. I'm just saying, that's how she looks. But let me know. Maybe some people are on Boots' side. I'm just having a hard time understanding where she's coming from as it relates to all these problems she has. And especially her beef with Shay. Like, damn, 2007, from the first story she told us, that's where the first beef came from. I said, damn, you still want to fight this girl in your 40s because of some shit that happened in 07? That was over 20 years ago. Like, what? My God. Anywho, Julian goes outside to talk to, before Julian goes outside, Trina does give a speech. She thanks her husband for her career, which I thought odd because he just got here. And she thanks all the people who showed up for her. I would assume in that thank you that it would include Julian and Trick Daddy. But Trick Daddy feels away. It looks like a couple people felt the way that Trina did not thank Julian or Trick. Who are y'all to tell people who they could thank for their career? Also, Julian and Trick were in the room and she said that she was thanking everybody who showed up that evening. Now, if Trick and Trina, it seemed like there might be some tension or something going on with them, maybe they need to talk. But Julian, he should just be happy to be there. That's my opinion. Because didn't he steal like 300,000 from Trina or something like that? Shayna said nobody cares about that stale 20-year-old beef. Boots should have addressed this years ago. Thank you. Exactly. I'm just like, girl, if you got beef with this girl for a legitimate reason, especially somebody talking about your kid, and Shayna's a mom, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't wait to address somebody who spoke on your babies. Like, who does that? This lady, you could have been got her, but okay, Boots. Just trifling. Just trifling. Lord help her. Talking about she need a car from Michael Blackson. One thing I need in order for us to keep fucking is a car. And you out here starting shit and fighting people. So are you Ubering to start fights? I can't take her seriously. I can't take people like Boots seriously. I can't. Honestly, I don't take people who act like they want to fight all the time seriously, because the real ones with hands don't move like Boots. It's a fact. Lord help us. So outside, Swerve and what's his face, Julian, they talk. I don't understand why Julian is kind of being a kiss ass to Swerve. I just felt like that was odd. You don't need to do anything personally. But he mentions the movie and how Shay not being in the movie is problematic because she's recorded so many scenes. And it looks like Julian's trying to find a way to just let their personal shit be their personal shit and let they, professional stuff be that and complete the film. Julian is the only professional person in here because Trina and her man want Shay off the movie. They're unprofessional because it's personal. And then Shay went up to people's place of employment for a personal matter. So I'm looking at everybody like, you're all fucking fired at this point. Julian's the only one moving with sense. I never thought I'd say that. But Swerve or whatever his name is, he had the nerve to tell Julian, we ain't doing that. And I'm wondering why Swerve is making decisions about Trina's career when we see that he's a wannabe rapper and he couldn't even make moves for his own career. So he had to get married Trina to get anywhere with his career. He wasn't getting on the radio and nobody knew he did music like that before her. So when he says we, when talking about Trina's issues, I don't like that. And it sounds like he's upset because because Shay told Trina that she's a piece of shit. But honestly, Trina is moving like a dumb bitch right now. I'm married too. I've been with my spouse almost 20 years and married for about 13 of them. I don't need Mr. Best to come speaking and addressing females for me. I don't need him to do that. Now, if a man goes crazy on me or something, I happily refer them to my husband, but I don't need him to be addressing females and handling Mrs. Best Reviews business matters. Like, you know how weird that would be if I'm like, Shayna, come collab with me, and then Mr. Best is in her DM. Like, no, like, absolutely not. So I'm not understanding why this man is so comfortable speaking on a career that does not belong to him. I don't understand it. He also seems very invested in female drama. But Julian gives him what he wants and says that he's going to cut Shay for the movie. And of course, Swerve is like, respect as a man. Boy, Julian probably could be your daddy. Swerve is my respect as a man. A man ain't riding his bitch's coattail for his career. A man's going to make his own shit happen, Swerve. But, I didn't know he could form a full sentence until he was around for like 2 or 3 seasons. So I'm just happy that he can talk. But Trina is deserving of her album. She is deserving. I'll give her that. What's poppin', Shani? Happy Thursday to you. I hope you had a good day. And thank you for the funny videos on TikTok. Lord help us. There was a scene that I skipped with Shay talking to Eliza. It's very easy for me to overlook these hoes. I'm sorry. But Eliza and Shay have a talk about all of the drama that's been happening with Trina, Swerve, and Julian. Shay explains her side of the story, and of course she paints herself out to be a victim. Shay also keeps pointing out that Julian siding with Trina over her is problematic. I personally do not feel like him doing that is problematic. I don't feel like that at all. The reason I don't feel like that's problematic Shay is not acknowledging the fact that she was unprofessional and should not have popped up at that place. Also, you can't just go around talking about women's husbands, even if what Shay said about Swerve is true. You can't just go around talking about people's husbands just because you're mad at their cousin. It doesn't make sense. If you got a problem with Joy, you should have addressed Joy. And because you did not address Joy, you got kicked out of a movie. Yeah, we can't even say, what have you learned? Because Shay just does not learn, and she only wants yes men around her. So I'm kind of like, I'm tired of Shay. Like, Bucky, you need to really grow up. It's time for you to grow up. It's so time for you to grow up. I promise you it is. She gets on my absolute nerve. But we got moving forward, beautiful people. We are almost through this review. I do appreciate the people who are here watching now. Also, big shout out to anybody who's watching when we're no longer live. I really appreciate y'all as well. If you could, please consider liking the video. It's an easy way to support the channel. Welcome to all our new subscribers, and I appreciate you all. Zoe goes to see Dr. Miami, well-known cosmetic surgeon who's actually board certified. You could tell who goes to the real plastic surgeons and who doesn't based on how people be shaped these days. But Joy and Hot Topic are there to support Zoe. She's made the decision to have skin removal surgery. For those who don't know or follow Zoe's journey off of the show, she did have the gastric sleeve surgery. So she has lost 180 pounds. When you lose so much weight so fast, you do get a lot of loose skin. So skin removal is a common move that people who've had a gastric sleeve or gastric bypass surgery make. But Zoe goes in, consults with the doctor. She has arms that she wants to address first. It was also nice to see Dr. Miami in this light. He's one of those doctors that you could tell is good at his job and knows what he's doing, but is also personable and good for television and things like that. So good for him. Good for Zoe. But while she's in the doctor, Hot Topic is talking to Joy. And Hot Topic, listen, I feel like she messy, but she has good discernment. She tells Joy she don't like Boots. She don't trust her. She don't like the way she's been moving. She feels like she's coming to a new city and she's acting as if she's the main character and everybody else are extras. She also points out that she has an attitude and she thinks it's weird that Boots is comfortable dating her friend and business partner Joy's ex-husband, or still husband, actually, because Trick and Joy ain't divorced. I agree with everything Hot Topic is saying. I don't give a fuck if a female is okay with me dating her ex or her current husband that she's not with. Girl code says I'm not supposed to do it and I'm not doing it. So the fact that Boots was willing to do that was absolutely crazy. And I'm like, how close can you be with Joy? Because you sitting and being with Trick thinking he could do something for your life when he don't help nobody unless they related to him or Joy. So I'm kind of looking at Boots with the side eye, and I'm glad that somebody is finally acknowledging it on the show. But we will see what happens there. Now we do get to see Shay go talk to Julian. Julian explains that Shay has spoken negatively. It's put him in some stuff. He also lets Shay know that it was Zoe who told Trina and them about what she said. And knowing Shay, she's probably going to, in one of these next episodes, go approach Zoe about this. She's probably going to yell at Zoe and be upset at Zoe for telling them this versus taking accountability for what the fuck she says. Because that's how Shay moves. Y'all know Shay be on that straight BS. No accountability. She'll never admit she's wrong. And that's why she can't keep friends and people or men. Because who wants to deal with that? But, essentially the conversation went nowhere. Shay was trying to beg Julian to let her be on the movie, saying she's not giving up. But Julian is like, listen, you can't be in the movie. Trina's an executive producer. It's become way too difficult to deal with you. Also, Julian told her not to go talk to them, and she wanted to do it anyway. Now look what happened. So Shay tries to throw the friendship in the face and was like, Trina always stops talking to you throughout the years. I've been your loyal friend. Just because someone's been loyal to you does not mean they have to tell you yes when you need to hear no, or they don't have to tell you that you are right when you are actually wrong. Like, nobody has to just tell you what you want to hear, Shay. Grow up. Grow up. I hope her daughter learns to do opposite of what Shay is doing. I really do. Because my God, my goodness. But Shay is too much. She's too much. You're not going to win. Business comes before loyalty and friendships. And the fact that Shay can't separate business from professionalism is insane because she is capable of doing it because we watched her do it with her own company. She's just choosing to be difficult, probably for the show. But sometimes I really think Shay is slow, y'all. I really be thinking that. Ay. Now we get to Amara's event, and this is where the show goes to hell, y'all. I'm going to try and be nice. But as our good friend, the bitch stay winning, said, it did feel like everybody was acting in this episode, especially towards this last scene. Amara has her event. It's a pop-up of some sort, but it looked like she was just signing stuff in like a hotel convention room. Eliza popped up with red hair and a purple dress, and she wanted to talk to Shayna says Shay needs to realize business is business. It's that simple. Like, you could have asked to meet up with people somewhere else. Like, I don't get the way Shay moves, Shayna. I really don't. And it's concerning because she moved like this on Flavor of Love. She moved like this on Iyanla Fix My Life. She moved like this on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and Miami. That tells me she might really be like this in real life. Which is terrible. Shay got all this money, but she doesn't know. She has no form of emotional maturity or accountability. Hey, Kiwan JTV. This is another great creator, you guys. James is going to be kind of on a hiatus from YouTube because it is the week of his move. Kiwan JTV, as well as Shayna_MCD. They cover a lot of shows on OWN, like Love and Marriage Huntsville, Bell Collective, Birmingham, as well as the regular one. Tap into those channels if you are looking for somewhere to continue watching those reviews. I do not cover those shows. I just show up for my friend because I love him. I actually despise Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I feel like Bell Collective Birmingham is going down the toilet already. So, but watch somebody else's review in the meantime. Yeah, Amara's event was odd. It felt staged. Eliza and her talk. Amara tries to get security to take Eliza away because the last time they seen each other was when Eliza was left with no shoes on at the top of a parking garage after being accused of voodoo. But Eliza says she's there because she values their friendship. And Eliza and Amara weren't even able to solve anything. Like, they were talking to each other, but they weren't able to get to their final point of resolve because Boots popped up talking about she want to fight. She said, "Where Bucky at? Where the fuck is Bucky?" Nobody call y'all. That is Shay as it relates to this show now. Nobody call you Bucky. You don't have to go by those names no more. You don't have to do it. But she said when she saw Amara and she saw Eliza in the corner talking, she said, "I see 2 unwanted baby mamas. Where's the third?" Listen, they chose to be unwanted, Larissa. Okay. Amara knew hers was married and Shay knew hers was a hoe with a family in Jamaica, a family in Minnesota, and a couple of fiancés elsewhere. Like, they chose to be unwanted. And Eliza used the turkey baster. Okay. And was doing things on the plane for Tory Lanez and his friends during the COVID pandemic. They know they're unwanted. They don't care. Shay wanted a baby and Eliza wanted a check. And that is what it is. But I'm looking at Boots like, so you think because you married a man for money and had your kids in marriage that makes you better than them? If you gonna come, right, you tongue kiss Flavor Flav and you think you talking about the next hoe? Girl, bye. And I'll never understand why women think that they are better than someone who can count as a baby mama just because they may not be a baby mama or a mama. Stop coming at baby mamas. So what if they a baby mama? As long as they're raising their kid's child, that's the child's mother and they're doing their job. And I'm looking at Boots like there's so much people can say about you, as Amara told her she's broke. You on here begging other people for cars and money and all this crazy stuff. And then your career been in the toilet for years, and you trying to make this last season of Love and Hip Hop pop and shake so that you can pop and shake and be okay for some time. But nobody cares if you were a wife in the past or are not a baby mama. You still a cheap hoe Ubering around to fight bitches for beefs that have been lasting for 20 plus years that you can't even provide us proof of existing. I don't understand. Boots, I was really happy to see you. What did Rima say on Bad Girls Club? That girl, I don't understand. Like, I don't. I want to understand. I really want to understand, but I can't. Not Shayna says she screams Dusty. I cannot. It's time to go in Indeed. Like, girl, but you want to talk about them because they baby mamas. At least they got their own houses and can pay for their babies. What are you doing? You on here sucking and putting your lips and your tongue between Michael Blackson's gap, hoping for a Toyota Corolla, and probably eating out Trick's booty while his legs is in the air like he liked to be, as he told us in that interview. Like, Boots, stop. A bitch chasing Trick Daddy could never aim higher. My God, my God, my God. Kiwan said Larissa suffers with arrested development. She's literally stuck in 2007. She's stuck. The only thing that's changed is she got on a wig and some lashes. But outside of that, everything's the same. Bell Collective Birmingham isn't holding my interest either. I'm trying, but especially this Tiffany and Stormy beef, I'm not liking it. I feel like they got to remove Tiffany. I don't think she actually has anything going on that she could show us outside of this prayer group, separate from like the beef. But yeah, I will definitely be watching yours and Kiwan's reviews because I'm gonna still watch it because I want to give them like a full season chance, but I'm not too interested. And then I see the other bells are coming back, and Love and Marriage Huntsville was approved for another season that will be 30 episodes long. So to Shayna, Kiwan J, TV, and whoever else covers this show, may the force be with y'all. Amen. Because that's going to be work for y'all. 30 episodes for one season. And he probably going to have a cajillion mid-season breaks. Lord help us. But y'all, the last thing that happens, you know, they just screamed. Of course, security kept Boots back there. Amaris's publicist quit on her. He said he's sick of it and walked out. The whole scene felt a little staged. It felt a little staged. It did. But that was the episode, y'all. I did my very best. My apologies to people who felt like this review was shorter or lackluster. These people were on here acting. And I can't see them getting hired for nothing outside of a Tubi movie featuring Tawanda Braxton. And that is not a compliment. So, make it make sense, y'all. My teeth didn't even itch because it just was not believable. So, we will see. Hopefully next week will be better. It looks like we'll have more that's happening on the show. Get back into some better storylines. Y'all also check out Kiwan J TV's review of Love and Hip Hop Miami. I saw that she got a review out last night for that. The next review I'll have on this channel will be The Valley. I was going to put it up tonight. I might put it up on Saturday just because I have been a very busy bee. And tomorrow I have a review dropping on the channel that was requested by one of our subscribers, Mrs. AKA. Shout out to her. It is an investigation discovery documentary series called We Are Jenny. So that will be premiering tomorrow. No, I am not covering the Hulk Hogan documentary. I was done with it when I saw our president on there. So I was like, huh? So I'm not going to cover that, unfortunately. But other than that, beautiful people, if there's a show you want me to cover, let me know. Next week, we're adding Bravo's new show In the City to the lineup. And then later this month, I'll be recapping Love After Lockup with Kiwan J TV and Watch Your Mouth Reviews. Ooh, there's a lot actually coming this month. There's a lot coming. Shayna, if you are still here, please comment if you cover or DM me actually because I'm about to end the live. if you cover Love After Lockup. Let me know, my darling. But other than that, beautiful people, I hope everybody has a really good day. I'm sorry I was off camera today. I am taking my braids out and I look crazy because my birthday is next week. But love and light to everybody. I hope y'all enjoy your Thursday. Don't forget to like the video, and I'll see you next time. Thug life.